From the brink of extinction to the front of the grid, the remarkable story of Aston Martin's comeback in Formula One. Buckle up and join us as we dive into the twists and turns of the 2023 season and witness history in the making. Ferrari in '97, Renault in 2005, Red Bull in 2009, Mercedes in 2014. Instances where teams made perhaps some of the most noticeable comebacks in motorsports history, and it seems like we might have another contender for the growing list, Aston Martin in 2023. Before we dive deeper into the video, make sure to subscribe to our channel for the latest news on all things related to F1. One of the most iconic and prestigious automotive brands in the world, Aston Martin used to be a common name in the pit lane in the 1960s. However, facing engine issues, they were forced to retire from the championship. Move forward to 2021, and Aston Martin makes its way back into F1, this time under the leadership of billionaire Lawrence Stroll as a customer team utilizing Mercedes power units. Their inaugural season featured Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll. However, the team failed to catch up to the rest of the grid till 2022. Soon after the news of Vettel's retirement came, Fernando Alonso was signed on by the team for the 2023 season, and the rest is history. Aston Martin surprised everyone during the Bahrain testing before the start of the seasons, topping the charts every now and then, which led all eyes on the AMR 23. The season start saw Fernando Alonso taking the AMR 23's first podium alongside the two Red Bulls, and this went on till Australia. The only two teams to be up on the podium this season have been Aston Martin and Red Bull. And that makes you wonder, where did Mercedes and Ferrari wander off to? Well, to put things into perspective, Aston Martin finished in the lower stages last year. This meant that they had significantly more wind tunnel time, not to mention the fact that as a customer team of Mercedes, not only do they use their engines and powertrains, they also use their wind tunnel, as Aston's own wind tunnel is under construction and set to be operational soon. Mercedes' struggle with their car isn't something that's new. It dates back to 2022 when F1 introduced new radical changes and Mercedes adopted their zero-pod concept design. The talk of the town was that it would benefit the team and help them in their rivalry with their fellows over at Red Bull. However, they struggled the most with porpoising through the season, which put them at a significant disadvantage to the other teams, and they could not be at par with the top of the pecking order anymore. The second of the 3 days of preseason testing raised some concerns when Hamilton struggled with balance in the morning and Russell experienced a hydraulic problem in the latter session. However, a better final day allowed for some optimism to be maintained. These design flaws have carried on into the 2023 season as well, with Lewis Hamilton being unhappy with the car and Toto Wolff being absolutely disappointed after the initial race of the season. A recent loss of important staff could be one reason for Mercedes' failures. The chief aerodynamicist Eric Blandin moved to Aston Martin. The engine boss Andy Cowell left before the 2020 season. The former technical director James Allison took on a new role in 2021 that required him to step back from day-to-day responsibilities. And most recently, the chief strategist James Vowles left to become Williams' team principal. Additionally, Red Bull acquired Ben Hodgkinson, the head of Mercedes' mechanical engineering branch, last year as a result of their competitors' aggressive hiring efforts for their brand new powertrains business, which resulted in the departure of about 15 other personnel. Additionally, Mercedes, one of the wealthiest teams in the sport, is preparing for the introduction of a budget cap in 2021, which will prevent them from sprinkling cash on issues the way they would have been able to in the past. Tifosi fans have once again been set up to be disappointed by the team behind the prancing horse. What many imagined to be a stout title fight between Ferrari and Red Bull, after the first races has become apparent that Ferrari is in shambles. On the traditional and classic tracks, Ferrari should be substantially closer to Red Bull. They are also in considerably better condition than Mercedes. It is claimed by Frederick Vasseur and the engineers that the SF23 is conceptually sound. Most of the tracks in the 2023 schedule should be able to reproduce the performance over one lap. Even though Ferrari had a higher peak downforce than Red Bull did last year, Ferrari found it extremely challenging to compete against it due to the latter's superior aerodynamic efficiency. Perhaps this is a reason Ferrari has put so much effort into increasing straight-line speed this year, even at the cost of some downforce. However, it appears that the Italian squad is currently running the rear tyres excessively, which is leading to substantial tyre deterioration. The reliability problems, though, that marred Charles Leclerc's Bahrain Grand Prix and likely have repercussions for the following 22 races was something the Scuderia did not anticipate. Based on Sainz's remarks, it is reasonable to assume that they were far behind schedule in Bahrain, even if they weren't discussing it. Although Leclerc finished third, he was out of the running for the victory when he retired, since the team didn't anticipate the distance to be as great as it was. It is clear that Ferrari has a number of issues. It would be a stretch to say that the Italian cars were matching Red Bull's speed, even though you could argue that they were in qualifying conditions just as quick. Ferrari was losing time by half a second per lap, which is a significant amount of time, despite having fresher tyres than the Austrian team. Furthermore, we are unsure of how much of the RB19's potential we actually saw. Even more troubling is the fact that Haas and Alfa Romeo, two of Ferrari's clients, switched to new components and acquired new ICEs for all four of their drivers. Additionally, Nico Hülkenberg of Haas experienced an MG UK failure 2 corners after the checkered flag, which caused him to crash. It doesn't help that the SF23, according to Ferrari, has worse drivability, cornering speed, straight line speed, and everywhere than the Red Bull due to the unstable engines mated with it. Hence, design problems at Mercedes, reliability problems at Ferrari, coupled with sheer determination and focus behind the doors at Aston Martin, made it very clear as to whom will emerge as the victor. So what does the downfall of Mercedes and Ferrari mean for Aston Martin? If they manage to keep up this pace and acquire podiums with such consistency, I think it would be safe to say that they would have successfully infiltrated the front of the pack. With only 3 races in, it is no doubt that the championship is still up for grabs. Fernando Alonso is a proven champion, and at 41 years old, with the staggering support of the AMR23, it is no doubt that he will have his eyes on the WDC as well. Will it be a third WDC for Max, or can Aston do something to disrupt the Dutch powerhouse? We will see to it, and may the best man win. If you liked the video, make sure to share it with your friends, and we will see you next time. Adios.